In today's video, what we're going to do is we're having a look at my mate's XR, and as you can see it's got a cracked screen, broken LCD, and you can see where it started to bleed. What I should also mention is my friend, unfortunately, he attempted the screen swap himself, and credit to him, he doesn't seem to have done any damage to the earpiece speaker or the dot matrix sensor, and there's no Face ID message on the screen. However, where he took the earpiece speaker off, I can see he's done a bit of damage to the top of the screen. Also on the new screen he's got, unfortunately, he damaged it in the same place. Usually I'd start by removing the bottom two screws, but they're at his house currently, so I can't do that. So then what I'm going to do is use my pry tool and just ever so carefully pry the sides. Open like a book, and just remember that as you're looking at the screen, there are two cables on the right hand side, about middle of halfway up the phone, and then a little bit further up you've also got the earpiece speaker, so you just want to be careful with that if and when you pry them. Once it's opened, you'll have three shields to deal with. The earpiece speaker shield, which also has the front camera and the rear camera, which is 4 screws, 3 tri or tri-wing, and 1 crosshead. Your second one is your LCD and digitizer, and then beneath that is your battery, which your screen bracket is an L shape, which this one seems to be lost, and the battery shield, which is kind of, well, an awkward shape. we're going to start by disconnecting the battery first, and then once we've disconnected the battery, we'll unplug the screen and the speaker module. And to remove the earpiece speaker, there are three crosshead screws and one tri-wing. This one seems to be missing the tri-wing screw though. And usually if either the last person has put it back, or if it's an Apple original, then it does tend to have a shield right here at the top that just sort of sits over. This one hasn't got it, and also because he removed it the way he did by taking the whole unit with the camera bracket, I can just pop it off like so. Usually I'd remove it from this point and not transfer it over, but for some people it's easier. Sometimes it just falls off. There's many reasons as to why. But the speaker looks in relatively good nick, doesn't seem clogged up. Now time to revert back to his other screen, and as you can see, there is bits of the paint and the other side of the LCD. You can tell, unfortunately, he's done some damage. So I'm just going to realign that back up. And then screw that down in place with the 3 remaining screws. Should be 4 again, but don't think this is the first time that this has had a screen repair. And given the colour of the charger port. Not so sure it's its original. Okay, so we're just gonna plug the screen in, plug the Face ID or earpiece speaker module back in and test the screen. Okay, it seems to all test fine, and as you can see from the bleeding at the top, that's the damage, unfortunately. And putting back together is just a reverse order. So, shields back on, screws back in the appropriate places, given that you don't want to cause anything like long screw damage, or risk doing it, should I say. Then once all screws are in, find the clips at the top, line it up, and it should just all clip in place. I always try to be sure when I'm clipping it back in that the cables aren't overhanging the screen or sort of through the chassis, so if they are, try and sort of reorganise them and persuade them inwards. But if they are clear, then I just pop it back in place, and then I would usually put the bottom two screws in, but unfortunately I don't have them, so Okay, just making sure that there's nothing in the charge port, and I think there's a little bit of fluff in there, so I'm just going to get a toothpick and try and get that out. A little bit. Apart from that, this phone looks generally okay. Have to see what he wants to do about it. Anyway, that's enough for today. Have a great day, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.